Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. We're actually going to play with the Too Faced Cinnamon Swirl Palette today, which I'm excited to try out. All these shades in here looks beautiful. So we will create a very brown, warm toned with a lot of sparkle. So we will go from this to this real quick, and I'm so excited. This look will fit every single eye color, every single skin tone. I feel like it is just a very beautiful, sultry evening look that will fit everybody. So if you want to see how I created this look and also what products I'm using and how you can do this too, then please keep watching. So I'm gonna use the Girl Law Meteors base today. I have really been loving this base, and when it comes out it looks like this. It has a little bit of a watery consistency, but it is not too much, and it also smells amazing. And I find that this primer is not only making my makeup last longer, it also makes my foundation look so beautiful on top. It just looks perfect. I also feel like this is kind of minimalizing my pores as well, which I always love in a primer. So I'm just gonna apply this all over my face. So for foundation today, I am going to use my Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. This is hyaluronic acid, and I really love how flawless it makes my skin look. It is also a very full coverage foundation, I would say. And then I'm also going to mix in a little bit of the Armani Luminous Silk, just because I want a little bit of luminous. I feel like this is a little bit more matte. And as you can see, this foundation is very full coverage compared to this side. It also makes your pore appear smaller, which I really love with this foundation. I also love the finish of it. It lasts so well and it looks good all day long, which I am very, very pleased with. And I'm now blending the foundation all up to my eyes, just because we are going to apply a concealer and I don't want to have a layer on top of a layer. So that will also help with the concealer not creasing as much. So for concealer, I'm going to use my favorite Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. This is so lightweight, it covers up everything, and when it dries down, it really stays in place. So I'm just going to take my sponge again and I'm going to blend it out. So if you're looking for a full coverage concealer that is not as heavy as the Shape Tape and is not as drying, check this one out. I really, really love it. I have the shade 0N in this one. So I will wait a minute to set my concealer. I will go ahead and do my brows off cam, and then I will be right back. So the brows are on, and now we're going to set the face. I'm going to use the Hourglass Translucent Veil Powder. I have really been into this just because it minimalizes the pore. It is so finely milled, and it also adds a little bit of luminous. So I'm going to take my sponge and just take a tiny, tiny amount. And what I'm going to do first is that I'm going to go on my larger pores right here. I'm not going all the way up to my eyes just because I don't want my under eyes to look dry. So I'm just going to minimalize my pores by adding a tiny, tiny amount around my nose area right here. I'm also going to set my nose real quick with this one. I'm going down my smile lines on both sides. And then we're also going to set the chin area. So for my under eyes, I'm going to take the Livi Beauty Big Blender. I'm just going to dig into this powder, take a tiny, tiny amount, and then I'm going to set my under eyes. This will not make your under eyes look as dry as if you take a sponge. So I'm lightly setting them with this powder. Really, really enjoy it for just a easy, quick set. It is time to get some dimension back into my face. I'm going to bronze and contour my face using the Scott Barnes Sculpting and Contour Palette. So I'm taking the Snatch Contour Brush from Livi Beauty, and I'm going to start with this shade right here, which is called Carve. This is very, very pigmented, so you have to be very careful. As you can see, you get a bunch of product just from tapping into the palette, and I'm going to contour my cheekbones, also added a little bit to my temples and forehead. I'm going to take Chisel right here, which is a little bit warmer. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to focus on my cheekbones, into my temples, and up to my forehead with this one. And I'm dabbing the shades down, and then I'm kind of blending it out. I feel like that is the best way to apply it because you get the product where you want it. and then you go over and blend it out. I'm also going to take Chisel and I'm going to go down the sides of my nose with this shade. Just one dab into the palette, go down each side, and then I'm going to add a little bit to the tip of the nose as well. I'm going to take Frame, which is a little bit darker and a little bit more warm, and I'm going to frame my face with this one, which means I'm going to go all around the outside, down my cheekbones, under my jawline as well with this shade. So I'm dabbing it on and then I'm carefully blending it out. So next I'm going to take Hashtag Shade. I'm going to take a little bit on the brush and we're actually going to use this as a blush base. So I'm just going on top of the contour, following my cheekbone, and I'm also adding it into my temples. This will give you a lifted effect. So I'm using the Highlight Your Life brush from Livi Beauty. I feel like this is a perfect brush to apply your blush with, just because it is so tapered as well, and you can easily reach in and get that perfect placement. So next I will take that dewy look from Kaya Cosmetic. I will spray my whole face and kind of melt all the powders together before we go in and do our eyes. So now it is time to play with the Cinnamon Swirl Palette from Too Faced. So this palette comes with a bunch of shimmery shades and also some matte ones, so I'm excited to play around with this palette. So first off, I'm going to go into the shade Flower Power. I'm lightly just going to set the concealer that we have on our lids, so we have a clean base to work with. So next up, I'm going to take this shade right here, which is called Sugar Rush, and we're lightly just going to add this into the crease. I'm blending this into the crease and up towards my brow bone. So next up, I'm going to take this shade right here, which is called See Me Rolling. I'm going to use another blending brush. This is a little bit more precise, and I will focus this mostly on the outer parts of my eyelid, but we will blend it inwards in the crease as well. Now I'm going back in with the big blender and I'm just going over so everything will look nicely blended. Next I'm going to take a Cinnamon Swirl right here, which has a little bit more of a red tone, and I'm going to use this on my outer corners. We're going to blend it into the crease a little bit, but not take it as far in as the other shade. I must say that these shades perform so well. So if you see here, there's barely any fallout in the pan as well. It has been a hot minute since I played with any eyeshadow from Too Faced, so I'm very impressed by this palette. Sephora in Scandinavia had 25% off their site, so I just had to pick up some good items, and I'm so happy I picked up this palette actually. It is like the perfect winter palette, I feel like, because it has so many like warm tones, browns, and so many shimmer shades. So I'm gonna go back into Cinnamon Swirl and I'm just gonna build up the intensity of the outer corners and build up the shadows a little bit because I want this look to be very smoky. So now I'm taking this very, very precise small blender, Lick the Spoon, which is a beautiful like peachy brown, and I'm gonna place this on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take Cinnamon Swirl as well. I'm going to use the same brush. These brushes really makes applying under eye shadows so easy because they're so small and tapered. I also make sure to connect the shades, both my lower lash line and also up on the outer corners. So I'm going to take a flat packer brush and I'm going to go into Frost Those Buns, which is a light shimmery shade. I'm going to apply this in my inner corners. So next up, I'm going to take this one, which is called Love the Bun You're With, and we're going to focus this on the middle of the eyelid. I'm also going to blend it a little bit into the inner corners, and these shimmers are so beautiful, you guys, and so pigmented. I love when these shimmers can be applied with a brush and you don't have to use your fingers. Next up, I'm going to take I'm Toasted, which is a little bit darker. I'm going to use the same brush, and this I'm going to place all the way on the outer corners and blend it together with the Love the Bun You're With. I can't get over how beautiful this shade is. Like, I love it. And this shade will also look so good if you have blue eyes. Because it is a complementary shade, it will really enhance the blue in your eyes if you put this all over your lid, which will look so beautiful. So last shade we're going to play with today is the Better Up, which is the darkest brown. and it is a matte one, so I'm gonna place this all the way in my outer corners just to build it up a little bit more. Then I'm taking the big blender again. I'm going back into the shade See Me Rolling, and I am barely tapping into the pan, and I'm going to blend everything together. So I'm just going back and forth, blending all the shades together, and also dragging it a little bit out and up. And this brush makes everything blend so easy together. I really enjoy this brush. I also think I would take a flat definer, go back into the shade Better Up, and I'm just going to press this all the way down to my lash line. So I'm pressing the shade on, and then I'm kind of smoking it out. I'm not being perfect right here. And I will also do that on my lower lash line. So I'm just going to stamp it on all the way on my outer corner and kind of smoke it out a little bit. So I will go ahead and apply some mascara. This is the They're Real Magnet Mascara from Benefit. I really have been into this mascara lately. It really makes my lashes look so long, and it separates them just enough to give me the volume I want, and it really enhances the length of your lashes. So I'm very impressed with this one. So next up, I will go ahead and add some pencil liner from Makeup Revolution. This is in the shade Black. And I would just go ahead and add some to my waterline and also tightline a little bit on my upper waterline as well. So this liner really impressed me the first time I tried it out because it is so black. As you can see, it sticks to the waterline as well. It is not smudging or moving. It stays in place all day, and I think this is like $2 or $3. Really affordable. So now I will go ahead and I will add my Tiffany lashes. These are one of my favorite from my brand Livi Beauty. If you haven't checked out any of the lashes, be sure to check out the website. The link is always down below, but these lashes are so stunning. I am obsessed with lash boxes. But I will go ahead and I will apply these off camera so we can save some time. So lashes are on, and as you can see, these are very dramatic. It gives you that perfect volume. These are wispy and they add a beautiful cat eye. So these are one of my favorites. I am wanting to smoke out the lower lash a little bit more, so I'm going to go back in with the pencil eyeliner. I'm just going to add a tiny amount on this flat definer, and I'm just going to place this all the way on the outer corners. I'm going back in with that Duo Look from Kaya, and we're gonna spray our face. And then we're going to apply highlighter. I'm going to use the Dior Glow Face Palette, and I'm going to take the Highlight Your Life brush. I'm going into the gold shade, and we're just going to add this on top before the setting spray really dries down. Also going to add a tiny amount into my forehead just to get a little bit of glow going on top of the nose. So for blush, I'm going to try out this one from Dior, and this is the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow in the shade Pink. It looks very vibrant, so I have to be very careful applying this. I haven't used this before. It's a new product, so I'm always very careful the first time I'm trying out a new blush. You can do any blush you want to this look actually because it is so versatile. The shade is actually very pretty. It doesn't look as bright pink as it does in the pan. So this blush is definitely a pretty color. It looks a lot more intimidating in the pan. It looks like a very bright baby pink. So I'm going to line my lips with the MAC Cosmetics Soar Lip Liner, which is one of my favorite color because it goes with pretty much any single nude. Then I'm going to take the Pure Hollywood from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is one of my go-to nude color. Then I'm going back in with the liner to blend the edges. Then I'm going to top my lips with the Livi Beauty Lip Gloss in the shade Destiny, which is a beautiful nude tone that I really, really love. So to set the face, I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter Glow. I must say I'm so impressed with the Too Faced Cinnamon Swirl Palette. All the shades in here are so stunning, especially loved the darker browns in here. And I must say I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. I would definitely go ahead and play more with this palette in the future. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed and you're still watching, be sure to hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and put on your post notifications so you will not miss a future upload. And let me know down below what kind of videos you want to see from me in the future. Do you want more tutorials? What kind of makeup tutorials do you want to see? And also what other other kind of videos? Leave a comment down below right away and let me know. And without further ado, thank you for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Mwah.